Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and may the 4th be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Anakin, may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, Master.
May the Force be with you both.
So today, as it is May the 4th, we are going to be doing a special video going through all these Star Wars art books. It's every single art book in my collection except for the gigantic Star Wars Archives book, and that's just way too big to put on this table at the moment. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think, books here. So we're going to go through all these books and we're going to check out some of my favourite spreads. So let's get into it. So we're going to go in more or less chronological order. So we will start with number 1, not first one made, but first one in the storyline. So it's The Art of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This book in particular I found at a secondhand sort of retro nerdy store, so that was pretty cool. Surprising find. There's some awesome artwork in here. Just gorgeous. So I've made some little sticky notes on each book, and we're going to check out the pages. So this first one, as you can see, I chose some droids. Now I chose this one because, first of all, I think these droids in particular, they're really funny. I've always liked them, and this spread in particular, it goes through, you know, it's standing up, there's one that's a bit more sideways, and then it's when it's compacted, when it's on that big battle cruiser ship, whatever you might call it. And then over here we've got more landscape, again landscape down here, and some weaponry designs. So I thought it's got a lot of elements, very cool, very fun, and as I said, I don't know, there's something about them that always makes me laugh. So that's that. The next sticky in the collection is this one. Now this one is just beautiful. So obviously we've got this image, which is, I believe, a digital design, it looks like it, or at least digitally enhanced. And down here we've got some physical designs, which they might be out of, does it say here? Yep, 2 to 4. Uto Gunga Council Chambers, foam core conceptual models. So there we go. And I think that shape is so interesting, and the colours are just, they really complement each other. You've got little creatures and everything. So I thought that was, it's a beautiful shot to look at. Moving on from that one, we have one more sticky in this book, and every book will have between 2 to 3 stickies. So we've got this one, and I chose this because I thought it's just, you know, architectural landscape kind of shots that are just gorgeous. There's so much detail in here. You can see all the little people. There's more people standing around, including the floats, the design on the ground, and the pillars with the giant statues. Got creatures down here, closer shots of this, and it's just stunning. I think the detail that went into this is amazing. So that is all for The Phantom Menace. As you can see, there's just so many incredible shots. So many concept ideas. Got Jaja. Next in line, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now this one, unlike number 1, is not a hardcover. I'm not sure exactly if they all came in hardcovers. I assume they would have, but the second and the third I got online and there wasn't any option. These books seem to be decently hard to find, so it was just kind of a matter of find what was available. So again, amazing artwork. And our first sticky for this book is this one. Another architectural landscape piece. I thought, again, like, look at the detail, the size, it's incredible. You see a little Yoda bust there and a Jedi robe. Just the concept and the effort and imagination that goes into these is insane. And, you know, like, to make that all to scale, make it work is great. My cat has now joined us, so if you see a little head or fluff going across the page, you know why. Now this one I find particularly interesting because if you have seen the animated Clone Wars series, you will know exactly who this is. So it doesn't say her name here clearly because this is years before that TV show and this was just an idea at the time, which I find very interesting that it is in this book and they didn't use that idea. So this, if you aren't familiar, is Asajj Ventress, and as I said before, obviously at this stage, it's just a sketch, it's not her. Sorry, not a sketch, it's a concept idea. So it wasn't her at this point, but in the Clone Wars TV show, this is Asajj Ventress, and so I find it really fascinating that she was an idea all, like, this far back before the show, and didn't make it into this film. So that is all for this book. We only had 2 stickies. Amazing work once again. Now, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Same as the others. Beautiful artwork. I mean, look at that. There we go. Now for our first spread in this book is this one, and I find this insane. Just, like, I picked this one specifically for this image. Do you see the detail in that skin? It's incredible. That has to be a 3D model or something like that, because there's just too much detail in that. That's amazing. And you've got little shots down here. And this race, if I am not mistaken, is the Utapau. And so if you remember when Obi-Wan Kenobi lands and says that General Grievous is somewhere on their planet, that was the race that we're talking about. So you can kind of see in these drawings. And I find this one interesting as there are 4 different colours. So obviously maybe their robes represent different status, perhaps. So yeah, just I think that is so well done. Yep. Now for this spread, I chose it more for this side of the page because, do you see this? It is little sketches of Yoda, little thumbnails, doing different motions, and I think some of these are hilarious. So it's like, he's dropped his lightsaber, he's turning around, you see that little face? And I just think that's really funny. But equally, on this side, you've got interesting sort of, these are the droids that General Grievous has. These are clones, obviously. So again, another interesting spread. Now, this one is very interesting because it is a Star Wars costume book. So it is not dedicated to a specific film, but it is of the original trilogy. And as we open it up and have a look, we can see that it is full of imagery, costumes, sketch designs, all of that. So it is a very interesting book. So we'll go to the first sticky. And I chose this one because look at all the funny little doodles. I mean, like, you got a guy with a really elongated head, funny little dude with a sort of a pig snout nose thing, really long arms, kind of like a, I don't know, helmety looking astronaut suit man there, just like hilarious designs. And then in comparison to that, you then have the photo of all the different aliens posing there. I mean, look at the size of that guy's head at the back. And Greedo, probably Bosch. So, amazing sketches and things. And actually, here we are in our next sticky. So this one is C-3PO, and just look at the different stages of design and the whole suit laid out. It's very, very interesting. This one I chose because people have been talking about recently with the Lego Star Wars game that's come out. And I mean, it's not a new concept, but I believe they're calling him the Ghost Droid, something like that, and he's just this funny looking protocol droid that lives on Tatooine, and everyone thinks he's a little spooky. So we've got a very good close-up here, some shots in action, and some concept designs and things like that. So another jam-packed book. So we've got another costume book here. This one is very hard to find. It is Dressing the Galaxy. So we'll open this one up and we'll see what's inside. And as we can see, again, so many designs. Now I chose this one because it gives you a very close-up look at the Tusken Raiders, and these are creatures that obviously you don't want to get very close to, so to see up and close is very interesting in their design. So obviously they've got lots of little pouches, this funny head, which I don't know if it's a mask or if that is literally their skin. I need to look into that, but you know, wrapped up feet, all these big cloaks. And I thought this was interesting, the little child, which I don't know if we see either in the films or just very often. Like, this is what you normally see, so I thought a child was very interesting. And they got this funny little head on them. And again, another close-up, and this one is just, it's so intricate. The detail that goes into it. So this one says, the making of the female Tusken Raider costume was unique for us in that usually a lot more work is done after the initial sculpt to clean up the shape. So by saying that, I'm thinking it is a sculpture in some form. Goes on to say, in this instance, my deputy Martin Rizard did such a good job with the sculpt, we were able to go straight to a final mold. The hero pieces are made in polyester resin, impregnated with different metal powders. So it sounds like they made a cast, they did a mold of that, and then they painted on this metallic design. So it's not real metal. It is polyester, or polyester resin. So again, it's just really interesting and intricate. You can see here on this side, little bag, little fingers are all wrapped up and everything. And again, Just very interesting design. And the last sticky for this book is this spread, and I loved these sketches of Padme, and you know, like I think what makes her design so interesting is the fact that she has such a large wardrobe. So we've got here is the sleeping outfit, the wedding outfit, obviously that can't be her if she's holding a child actually, but you know, there's all these different outfits. There's her when she was pregnant on the ship. There's just so many different outfits. And to see character sketches and the concepts and everything is fascinating. And it's just, there's just so much, especially for her, but in general. And the detail that goes into it. These books are gorgeous. We have 2 books left, so the next one is Star Wars The Force Awakens. Onto our first sticky note. We have sketch designs for BB-8. And I just thought this was cool because, you know, clearly this was kind of the concept they ended up with. He looks a lot more bumpy in this one, but definitely this is the more finalized design. But in comparison, you know, there's the head. There's a little like sticky note it actually says sticky note concept idea. You got little round tread. There's a ball but with different design on the back. Some arms on this one. So the sort of generation of sketches is really cool to see. And then down here we've got our famous little gonk buddy. We got BB-8, and look how small he is in comparison. He's just like whoop, right up there. We got a R2 unit, and I'm not too sure, that could be a protocol droid because it looks like a body, just it's missing a head and the bottom of his legs and bits. And obviously a droid that looks like it's pulling it apart. So yeah, not pulling it apart, droid assembly, there we go. Droid repair, I should have seen that. Droid repair. So that is a cool little layout. Our next spread is this one, and I picked this because we got some little characters, and some of them are quite funny looking. Like, look at this little old guy. Look how cute he is, and he's got some little, looks like maybe a wampa rat? Is that what they're called? And some different birdie things, gigantic frog looking thing. So maybe a merchant, something along those lines. And then you got these little funny looking guys, some robots. I just thought it was a fun little spread for characters. Our last spread for this book is this one, and I chose this one because the other spreads were more sketch based, concept based. These ones have a bit more fully rendered pieces. This one in particular is interesting because it appears to be on Killer Base when Rey and Kylo are fighting outside, except the face is different, so I don't know if this was a mask concept idea or if it was a different person in general, but that one is pretty interesting. Now we move on to here. This one looks like the beginning of the film where they were sort of pillaging the village. Got a hut. And again, just some more rendered pieces. And then down here, obviously the Knight of Ren, all the different characters that we see in the last film, I believe it is. Oh, do we see it in the second one? We might see it in the second one. No, we don't. And here is probably a Knight of Ren, I'm not sure, but it's definitely an interesting looking loose sketch. So there we go, all these stickies for The Force Awakens. the final book of this video, and final book of my collection thus far, because I have some more Star Wars books to collect, is The Art of the Rise of Skywalker. Now, you guys leave a comment in the description which is your favourite Star Wars film. And if you want, let me know favourite of each trilogy. Otherwise, just your favourite Star Wars movie ever.
Do it.
Again, super cool artwork. So our first spreadsheet, I picked this more so because of this guy. I don't know why, but every time I see him, I think of David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust. I think it's because of the really long face. I'm not really sure, but I always think of that when I see this spread. So I wanted to include that because I just think it's really funny. I'm not sure really why, but I always think that. And so the rest of the sketch, we got this droid here, which reminds me of the droid from Rogue One, but obviously, like K2, but obviously thinner, not as broad. Over here, we've got some other little characters, some tubing, actually more tubing there. So just some interesting looking at characters. Next one is this one, and I really love this spread. So this one, it's just so colourful. This is the, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, so I will find it and insert it here. But these are concept ideas for that festival in the Rise of the Skywalker film. But it's really interesting because obviously there's different ideas for the totem pole, and then we've got the totem pole here, I think was on the next page again. Yep, totem pole really large here looking down, and you got some characters, possibly like deities maybe. Got this awesome looking kite. How cool is that? It's kind of like a dragon / chameleon. Some guys playing with little dolls. Those are probably the dolls, and it's just so colourful and so fun, and I love it. This last one is just a fun little spread again. This one actually makes me think of Kung Fu Panda, the duck, was it a goose? That makes the soup. It's just... I don't know, that the little cabbage looking things is what I think, and that face is what makes me think of it, and it's just funny. We've got a little critter down here, big sort of blobby looking man, but as you look closer there's even like little fuzz, so even though it's a small design there's a lot of detail in this. And here, more fun, it's more sketchy, more, you know, just concept, and it's great. And as we just, for final flick through this book, we got Dio, different designs, different colorways, more characters. This one's very cool. Actually, look at his face. Definitely lots of fun. So it's just impossible to like include all of these shots, but there's so many wonderful ones. So I will leave links in the description of all the flip throughs so you can take a closer look at all of these books that I have uploaded to or talked about today. I will also leave a link to the playlist where I review and flip through and talk about all these different books over here and in the description. And I hope you guys have an amazing day, and stay tuned for more Posca videos coming up. So happy May the 4th, have an awesome day, and I'll catch you later. Bye.